Start recording. Alright. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good morning. Let's start our session with Umul Kitab Al-Fatihah. Amin. First of all, on behalf of Postgraduate Studies, College of Engineering, UiTM, I would like to thank all invited lecturers and all FRP students for your time to attend this session today. Welcome to second webinar series for year 2023. Today we will having a sharing session from our head of postgraduate studies on title of PG Postgraduate Opportunities at the College of Engineering. Okay, without further ado, I invite our head of postgraduate studies, Associate Professor Dr. Sheila Belayudam, to give her opening remarks and deliver her sharing. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Habibah. So, a very good morning, everyone. Hold on a minute while I share my slide. Okay. All right. So, a very good morning again, and welcome to our session on providing you the briefing on the opportunities for postgraduate studies at the College of Engineering, UiTM. Okay, so my name is Sheila. I'm currently the head of postgraduate studies at the College of Engineering. So let's quickly go through, because we have 80 slides here. So, and I only have an hour. So basically, I'll just go fast on certain points which I think might be less important compared to the others. Okay, so so that we have ample of time for Q&A later on. Right. So briefly, these are some of the elements that I'll talk about. Okay, so in general, what are the postgraduate studies at the college? Why do you need a postgraduate study? Okay, so and basically at the end, how to apply and so on. Okay, so just for your information, okay, so for postgraduate study, or the Office of Postgraduate, it is directly under the jurisdiction of the Dean of Academic and International. Okay, so currently we have our PNC at the top, and then we have the Dean of Academic and International, Prof. Soleh, and postgraduate is directly under the Dean of Academic. Okay, so and under postgraduate study, we have two coordinators. Okay, so one will be for research, Dr. Fazlina, and one would be for coursework and mixed mode, Dr. Hafiz. Okay, so and we are also supported by the kita panggil penyelaras lah. Okay, so penyelaras Dr. Habibah just now we have introduced me basically for the session. Dr. Habibah, who is the penyelaras for student development and also promotion. Dr. Siti Hamidah, who is the penyelaras for Master's Research Program 750. Dr. Shafi is the penyelaras for PhD Program 950. And for coursework, basically, we have quite a lot of programs. We have basically 12 programs in total. So Dr. Azlinda is the penyelaras for Civil Program. Dr. Nora is the penyelaras for Engineering Management under Mechanical. Dr. Nani is the penyelaras for electrical. Okay, so telecommunication. And Dr. Afsan is the penyelaras for EM 703, which is the mixed mode program. Okay, so and we are basically supported by the administrative team headed by Encik Awang, and currently the AR position is vacant, and we have two senior executive officer, Puan Fazni and also Puan Mardiana. And we have the team basically for coursework, Puan Nur Imania and also Puan Adibah, as well as Puan Ezrin for research. Okay, so in general, at this starting part, you should kind of need to know me, Dr. Fazlina or Dr. Hafiz, because your concern will be mostly about the running of the program and so on. Okay, so for postgraduate study, basically, it is governed under one entity. Okay, so just a brief history. Prior to the restructuring exercise, which was conducted in March 2021, each of the faculty used to have their respective postgraduate studies. However, after the restructuring, basically after March 2021, we have been combined, and there is only one postgraduate studies that actually looks into the entire engineering programs. Okay, so it's all under one umbrella now. This is the faces of the academic team. Okay, so Dr. Fazlina is there, Dr. Hafiz, and also the penyelaras, okay, for the coursework mixed mode program. Okay, so Dr. Azlinda, sorry, Dr. Azlinda, Dr. Afzan, Dr. Noria, Dr. Nani, and for research, Dr. Habibah, Dr. Shafiq, and also Dr. Siti Hamidah. Okay, so this is our administrative team headed by Dr. Encik Awang, Puan Fazni, Puan Mardiana, Puan Imania, Puan Ezrin, and also Puan Adibah. Okay, and quickly going to postgraduate program. So why do we need? Okay, so what's the essence or what's the reason for us to go for postgraduate studies? Well, most of the time, sometimes when we ask the students, okay, so these are honest opinion from the students. When we get coursework student, for example, who actually extended their study. So there are mostly when we talk about coursework students, especially for masters, we don't have coursework for PhD, only for masters. The reason they give depends. So there are two types of students that usually join us. One will be fresh from undergraduate. Okay, so they extend their study right after the undergraduate. And one more students who are basically very much matured, who are working adult, and they come back to us for to further their masters. Okay, so normally the one who actually extended right after the degree, the reason will be one, to leverage. Okay, so to have the leverage as compared to their friends. Okay, so obviously with degree and also with a master's, it makes a difference. And as well as if you are looking into joining academic. Okay, so if you are aiming to be a lecturer, for example, in years to come, then taking masters and moving on with a PhD, it is practically compulsory. Okay, so there are quite a lot of students who actually aim to be lecturers. Then there's no way besides going for your postgraduate. So that's one. So for us this morning, basically the session is with all the final semester student. So then my focus of briefing today will be to cater you as a final semester undergraduate or final semester masters who are intending for a PhD. Okay, so if you have any question, I will put my mindset as such. Okay, so in the afternoon later, we have another talk which is with the industry players. Okay, so the notion or the briefing with industry players slightly different because they are very much matured, and the question might differ from students which are from fresh undergraduate. Okay, so well, among the need or among the reasons for masters or for a PhD, if you are going to specialize in a certain knowledge. Okay, so for example, if you are looking into in-depth of structure. Okay, so bridge engineer, for example. So some of the items have not been taught in the undergraduate because there's only that much you can cater for a 4 years program. So then you go for a selected field. For example, you are so much into geotechniques, so then you might want to venture into that, taking a 1.5 years master's, for example. Okay, so then you might venture further on, opening a consultants firm in those areas and so on. Okay, so other than that, obviously we're talking about personal development as well. Okay, so well, going for a master's, okay, so you can ask around. Basically, a master's is definitely not as tough as your degree. Okay, so degree prepares you to be the engineer, and you are ought to register as a graduate engineer. So there is a accountability with that. There is act with that. It comes along with a very huge responsibility. Masters is an upgrade of that, but it is not as tough as an undergraduate because there is that it is an added value to you. Okay, so it is an added knowledge to you. So normally it is not as it is not as packed as an undergraduate because it allows you the room to grow. Actually, masters allows you the room to actually have better networking, get to know the people in your industry. So it is really about discussion, getting this vibrant network going around. Okay, so that's the point of master. So it is not to grill you for the CGPA or whatsoever, but it is it is an environment, a platform for you to actually grow. Okay, so that's the idea of actually masters, and of course a PhD as well. Okay, so to improve your career prospect, especially if you're intending to go in depth into a certain area. Okay, so higher earning potential, career change opportunity. So career change basically happens if, let's say, you are from an undergraduate of a different field. So because sometimes we get applicant from FSG, for example. Okay, so applied science, for example, but they are moving towards the practical application of science. So maybe under engineering. So they might actually come into the program environmental engineering. So we get quite a lot of applicants which are still within our field, more so, but not engineering basis. Okay, so if there is career change that you're looking forward, then this is one of the way lah. Okay, and networking opportunity because in the class you will find or you will meet people from various walk of life. Okay, so some are from consultants, some are from local authority, some are from contractors. So you can mingle around. Okay, so and also obviously through masters, this is where you actually spend time to improve your skill because you have the time. Okay, so it is not as compact as undergraduate, so it gives you room for you to learn new skills basically. Okay, right, so this slide is suitable, okay, for you. Basically, should I get a master's degree now or should I start working right away? Right, okay, so there are two ways of looking at it. Okay, so one way is basically the reason for you to go for master's right after your bachelor, quite a lot. Okay, and one more is the reason to work and postpone your master's. Okay, so there are two ways of looking through it. So the first one basically is to leverage against the applicant without a master's. So sometimes we do have students coming in with they mention, okay, the undergraduate CGPA is not that cantik. Okay, it's not that nice. So some of them actually came to kind of like top up their undergraduate CGPA as well, to be honest. So, and then you have a master's that actually that supports your undergraduate CGPA or undergraduate qualification. So you will create a certain leverage against the applicant without a master's. Okay, and potential for earning more money with a master's degree. And another reason, after a long break from university, it will be more difficult to get back into the groove of learning. This is true. Um, if you can get to ask around your fellow friends or the students who are doing a master's right from the degree, you will get this. So it's very much easier because you are familiar with the system, you know how to actually respond to a certain exam question, because typically exam question there are certain pattern in providing your response, and sometimes once you lose it, to get back the groove is it takes a longer time. So sometimes is, if you have no other obligations, then continuing masters could actually give you, actually is a easy transition from the undergraduate. So basically that. Okay, and if you are intending to do a PhD, then masters is necessary if you are not looking into a fast track program. Okay, so I'll talk about the fast track later. But if you're not looking into a fast track program, then you will be an undergraduate, master, and a PhD. Okay, and of course, if the financial situation permits. Okay, so sometimes we can see students that need to work. Okay, so they need to work, they go on to work because the family requires. We totally understand, and they come back after a few years. Okay, but if you're in a situation that you are financially stable, and there are is allowed for you to actually complete the masters within 1.5 years. Okay, so it's only 1.5 years, then please do so. Okay, so if your financial situation permits. And sometimes this one I mentioned, if you didn't finish your undergrad with a good grade, and less responsibility that will affect your study. So normally from undergraduate right to masters, normally it will be a easy pathway. Okay, so probably you have not worked, you have not have a responsible heavier family responsibility in your life, then you just complete the masters in a short period of time. Okay, so that allows you the time for you to actually complete your masters. Okay, while we are talking about that, then there are reasons for us to actually postpone as well. Okay, so sometimes students might want to know actually which area of study would be of most interest to them. Okay, so sometimes working with experience could allow you to see, okay, which area that is the most interested for you. Okay, so you would know that which would interest you the most. So then it might comes with a certain work experience, and we get students working after 1 year. Okay, come back, sambung belajar. Okay, and you can also save money. Okay, so while you're working, you save money, and then you can rely on your own savings to do your masters later. And initial work experience basically sometimes adds value to your learning experience. So once you get that experience a little bit, then you can actually relate how practice and how theoretical works together. Okay, and theory and practice must work together. Okay, so the example in the theory, it should be applicable in practice as well. So while you're working, you might be able to see, and you might be able to actually feel that, right? So two ways to go about it. Okay, so it is really your thought and your mind that you set to it. Okay, so which do you think? Do a SWOT analysis. Okay, so that would help you. So well, these are some of the income. Okay, so I mentioned. So looking into the 2021 data statistics. Okay, so degree graduate recorded a decrease in monthly income in 2020 as compared to in 2019, but at the same time, the income of the PhD master graduate in 2020 remain in the range of this and this. Okay, so this has been taken from the newspaper. Okay, so that is just an introduction of whether you want to proceed with the masters or not, or contemplating about it. So if you need further assistance, if you need further point of view, you can contact us. So you can contact me as well to have a further chat on this. Okay, right. So quickly going into the postgraduate studies. Well, to be honest, we have quite a lot of what you call selection of programs in College of Engineering. We have 20 in total. Okay, so we have 8 research program. So 2 each for every school. Okay, so for every school, we have the Masters by Research, and we have a PhD for all the way from civil, mechanical, electrical to chemical. So it's the same. So the process procedure involved similar, basically it's the same across all the schools. And for coursework, basically for civil, we have 6 programs altogether. I'll go through the programs in my slides after this. Mechanical, we have 4 programs. Okay, so for coursework, electrical, we have 1 currently, and actually we are currently developing 2 more programs. And mixed mode, we have 1. Okay, so in total we have 20. Okay, so I'll go right into the research program first. Okay, so for research program, basically the entire program is based on research. Okay, to give you an idea, it is, for example, the program basically minimum years are 2 years. Okay, so 2 years program to maximum of 8 semester, which is 4 years program. Okay, so obviously don't aim to complete your masters in 8 semester. It is very, very not worth it. Okay, so if you're taking a masters for research, aim to complete it in 2 years, no more than that. Okay, you shouldn't put too much of time in completing a masters. Okay, a longer one, yes, it will be a PhD program. Okay, so for research program, basically we have across the board as well as for masters and as well as a PhD. Okay. So current research enrollment, basically for masters by research, we have around 375. For PhD, we have 463. In total, masters students at the College of Engineering is around 838 students. Okay, and the duration and mode of study, right? So masters by research, okay, so it is 1 to 4 years. So when I'm talking about research, you imagine that your entire study is like the conduct of your FYP. Okay, so full research under the supervision of a supervisor. It could be one main supervisor and 1 or 2 co-supervisors and so on. So there are no classes, there are no courses to take. So it is purely research, except that there are compulsory courses lah. So that one is just 3-day short courses on research methodology and so on. But other than that, there are no courses involved. It is purely research. So it basically, if we are talking about research program, it requires commitment, a strong lah, actually is a high commitment from the student. Okay, so because the time is within your control, the scope, most of it, all basically the entire running of the program or the running of your research is on you. Okay, so you and the supervisor. So pure research. Okay, so for master's research, it could be from 1 year to 4 years. Okay, and I would strongly advise or strongly suggest that if you have a good final year project, then it is worth to enter through master's research. Okay, so you can actually extend your final year project. You might have done a very good job, a good grade, so which actually highlights the proper depth for a final year project. You can extend the scope. Okay, so maybe the breadth and the depth. Okay, so extend it to convert it into a master's research. And with that, you save some time on the literature review and so on. Just add on a little bit to that, and you could complete in a short period of time. Okay, but obviously, talk to your supervisor. If there is a potential for that, why not? Okay, so you can complete as such. Okay, so for PhD, it is a minimum of 5 semesters to 14 semesters. Okay, so 2.5 to 7 years. These are some guidelines, or these are some rules and regulations in regards to 750. I wouldn't go detail on it. Okay, so we will be providing you the material for the slide and also the details of the program. So Dr. Habiba will share the link later on, so you can actually view the slides, and if any question, come back to us. Okay, so same goes to 950 academic rules and regulation. Okay, on the fee structure, okay, so well, basically the fees in UiTM are pretty cheap, okay, at this moment. So for the fee structure for PhD by research, okay, if we talk about full time, okay, so one semester will cost you around more or less 2,000. Okay, so full time and part time, basically part time is a little bit cheaper because the recurring cost or the recurring fees does not include medical. Okay, so for full-time, more or less one semester will come to 2,000. And for international student, it will come to around 6,000 RM. Okay, so for masters by research, full-time will be around 1,500. Okay, and international student will be around RM 5,500, more or less. Okay, so that's the fee structure for research. And for master's program, the requirement for the CGPA will be at least 2.75. Okay, and if you do not have 2.75, normally we will, if you're fresh graduate, then normally we will get you to have some experience. Okay, so normally with some experience, you come back to us, even though if you are 2.5, then we will consider as well. Okay, all right, and PhD, you must have a master's degree in relevant field unless you are under the fast track program. Okay, so for international candidate, we would require the English competency or English test. For example, IELTS of band 5. Okay, so for local students, we do not require. Okay, so for fast track, this is what I mentioned just now. It is basically a PhD fast track program. Okay, so whereby you can actually apply for a PhD from your bachelor degree right away. Okay, but there are conditions to it. So in order for you to actually apply for this program, you need to have a bachelor's degree with at least 3.5 CGPA. Okay, so from UiTM. Or if you're not from UiTM, then a minimum CGPA of 3.67. Okay, so with that, you can actually apply, and usually after you apply on the e-pursuit, you will be what do you call it? You will be requested to submit your proposal. Okay, so PhD proposal, we will contact you. Okay, so once you apply through e-pursuit, so if we see that you are undergraduate applying for a PhD, we will actually arrange you for an interview. Okay, so there will be admission interview based on the PhD proposal. Okay, so need not be long. Okay, so your PhD proposal can be 10 pages, for example, but sufficient enough to show that, okay, this is a PhD study. So obviously, when you're developing such proposal, you need to talk to your potential supervisor to develop that. Okay, so to make sure that you can convince the interviewer. So once you have passed the interview, then you will be enrolled as a PhD student. Okay. So these are the major milestones of the research journey. Okay, so I wouldn't go through this. Once you have enrolled, then we will have another briefing with you on this. Okay, so this is what I've highlighted just now. Try considering extending your FYP into a master's degree. Okay, and especially if you have done a very good job in your FYP, you have put that much of effort, you have done a very good literature review, extend a little bit to make it into a master's. Okay, and as well as if you are basically currently doing a master's, okay, so you would produce master's project as well. So turn your master's thesis or master's project into a PhD. Okay, right, so these are some of our online Viva sessions, whereby at this moment we are still currently running our Viva online. Okay, so quickly going on to the coursework program. Okay, so basically the introduction to the coursework program. And if you can see from here, our coursework program varies quite a lot. Okay, so for civil engineering, we have 6 programs altogether. Okay, so you can actually specialize in structural, geotechnical, water resource, environmental, construction, as well as highway engineering. So that's for civil. For mechanical, for coursework, we have Master Science in Engineering Management. And we have 1 year program. Okay, so this one I need to highlight because the other programs are basically minimum of 3 semesters or 4 semesters. Okay, however, we have new program. These 3 programs are basically new, which are a 1 year program. And the intake is only once per year. So it will not be in March, it will be in October. So at this current moment, for March intake, we will not be accepting any admission lah. Okay, so because the intake is only once in October. Okay, so the 1 year program will be robotics, manufacturing engineering and material processing, and aviation engineering management. Okay, and for electrical engineering, we have master's program, master science in telecommunications and information engineering. Okay, so and one more. Okay, so we have also mixed mode. Okay, so mixed mode would be under the School of Mechanical program Master Science in Mechanical Engineering. So the difference between coursework and mixed mode, basically mixed mode is heavier on the research, okay, meaning to say that the credit hours for master's project is higher. So you can see that for mixed mode, for example, 40% will be courses, 60% will be focused on your master's project. But for coursework, big bulk of the credit will be on the courses, and only, for example, 20% of your credit hours will be on the master's project. Okay, so coursework will be less research, more courses. Mixed mode will be um, more of the research and less of the courses. So for coursework currently, okay, so coursework we have around 265, mixed mode we have 30, and altogether for coursework we have around 298. So a lot of the students for coursework are basically working adult. Okay, so we have fresh graduate entering as well, but I think a bigger percentage of it would be among the working adults. Okay, so whether they're under scholarship, HLP, or they enroll on their own. Okay, so we have academic regulation by coursework. Okay, so quickly going into the programs offered by the school. Okay, so if you are under or if you're interested in the School of Civil Engineering, there are 6 programs. Okay, and this is the mode of study. There are full-time and there are part-time. Okay, so full-time, a minimum of 3 semesters. Part-time, a minimum of 4 semesters. Okay, so all right, so the area of specialization are as such, all the way from structure to highway. So you can see that most of the areas that you have gone through under your undergrad should be here, except that it will go much deeper into each of the specialized area. Okay, for coursework, School of Civil Engineering, the classes will be held weekdays. Okay, so it will be held weekdays after office hour. So expect classes to be after 6 p.m. So it could be from Monday to Thursday if you're taking full time, or if you're part time, you'll be Monday to Wednesday. Okay, so the difference between full time and part time is where the part timers would take less credit hour per semester. So the classes will be less than the full time student. Okay, so full time you would expect 4 days of classes, and part time will be 3 day of classes. So one day will be for one course. Okay, so one day, one course after working hours. Right, so okay, so these are the details. Okay, so these are the details of the courses. And the academic requirement for masters is the same. Okay, so at least 2.75. But if you do not have 2.75, we accept lower than that, except that it should come with some years of experience. Okay, and international students, similar, you would have need to have IELTS or Band 5 or TOEFL 450. Okay, on the fee structure, okay, so for civil program, the fee structure is as such. Okay, so let's say taking into full time into consideration. Okay, so normally you have registration cost for any program, and then you would have tuition fees per credit. Okay, so if a full time student would take 14 credit per semester. Okay, 14. In total, for the whole program will be 40 credit. So for 3 semesters, you need to complete 40 credit hours. 10 credit will go into master's project. So meaning to say that you have 30 credit of subjects. Okay, so every semester will be based on credit hours and is 100 per credit. And recurring fees are the recurring fees for every semester. So for full time, for one semester, the cost will be around 2,200 RM. Okay, so for full-time student. For international student, the cost will be around RM 5,500 or so for international. Okay, So full-time will be taking 3 semesters. So more or less you are looking into 2000, 2000, 2000. So the total will be around 6,000 plus for the entire program. And just to highlight again, um, I don't think you can find the fees as low as this anymore in current time. So just to highlight, I think this is important for me to highlight because starting 2021, if I'm not mistaken, so we have been instructed by the Ministry of Higher Education or KPT, Ministry of Higher Education, whereby any new program that we propose or we are developing, the minimum cost to complete the program will be 18,000. Okay, so I need to highlight this because sooner or later all this program will be changed or will be upgraded into a new program. But when we are coming up with a new program, the old programs will be obsolete and we will basically close it down bit by bit. So if you have the financial capacity to actually enroll in a master's, this is the time to do it because the cost is at the lowest level. Okay, any new program after this, it will be a minimum cost of 18,000. So meaning to say one semester, if it's a 3 semester program, one semester will be 6,000. It's a lot compared to the current one. We are talking about only 2,000. So if you have the financial capacity, really think through. Um, you can never find a fees this low in future. Okay, so and programs will be changed and programs will be improved and slowly there will be new programs with a minimum cost of 18,000 and this all these programs will be slowly dijemukkan. Okay, so consider that as well because under civil all these programs are pretty established very long. Okay, so since 2009 we have been running this program, so it is time to repackage in future and so on. Okay, so while you're at it, so while the cost is really low, so try consider enrolling into it. Okay, so that is on civil. Okay, so the next program is basically a mechanical. So mechanical we have 4 program, and to highlight robotics, manufacturing and aviation is the baby. Okay, so it is new, so it has been launched in October last year, October 2022. Okay, so and all of this is new program, which means the cost is no less than 18,000. Okay, and masters in engineering management is basically the older program. Okay, so the older program with the cost of 16,000. Okay, so it's a professional program open for the what they call the study of management across the board of engineering. It does not matter which engineering field you are from. Okay, so engineering management. Okay, so engineering management, it is offered in part-time mode because most of our students are basically part-timers. Okay, so most of our students are working student because the entrance requirement for fresh graduate is pretty high. Okay, so and the reason is because this program requires the knowledge of practice, okay, the experience. So it is really a lot to do with the different diversions in management. Okay, so we have the point of financial accounting in this law as well. So a lot of different aspects are placed into this course, this program. Okay, so the requirement is pretty high for fresh graduate because we really encourage the ones with experience to join this. Okay, but nonetheless, if you have 3.5 above, you can apply for 704 and the minimum duration will be 2 years. Okay, so these are some of the program structure that you can go in detail later. And the fee structure is pretty steep as well. Okay, so fees for local is in total is 16,000. Okay, for international is 25,000. Okay, so and then we have the 1 year program. Okay, so it's just that we don't have the intake for March, but let's say at least after this briefing, if you intend or you have an interest to actually go into aviation or going into robotics, so you can enroll in October. Okay, so there are three programs, which is a 1 year for each program. Okay, so each one will be 1 year. So for my manufacturing, okay, so this is manufacturing engineering and material processing. Okay, so the requirement are as such, okay, CGPA of 3. So it's basically the normal entrance. Okay, so these are the courses, so you can go in detail looking into the courses. And we have quite a lot of collaborators for these new programs because we are looking into having dual degree as well. Okay, so dual degree in a form that if you enroll with us, so there is the half of the time you would spend here and another half of the time you would spend in our partner university. Okay, so that's the idea. Okay, so we have the expert team for this as well, manufacturing. And the total cost for manufacturing is 18,000 for 1 year. Okay, so that will be 2 long semesters and one short semester. So as I mentioned, this is a new program. So hence, it comes with the cost of minimum 18,000. So for this, 18,200. Okay, so masters in robotics as well. Okay, so masters in robotics, the requirements are similar. These are the courses. So go, if you're interested in robotics, go into the slide. Okay, so you can get a read on it. So what are being taught in robotics, and these are the collaborators as well. Okay, the expert team. And the cost for robotics is around 18,693. Okay, and currently aviation engineering management as well, we have around 8 students. Okay, and if you're interested in this, these are the courses. Okay, so full-time 1 year. Okay, so part-time 2 years. Okay, but obviously this course is getting the attention by practitioners because of the short period. Okay, so it's only 1 year program, and the estimated cost is 22,000. Okay, so for aviation. So for this three program, okay, so this one I think I'll skip through because it is not much related to fresh graduate. Okay, and the last one from mechanical is basically a mixed mode program. Okay, so mixed mode program, as I mentioned, it is heavier on the research part. So you can imagine that your credit, 60% of your credit for master's project is on the research, okay, and another 40% is on the courses. So full time will be 3 semesters. Elective courses, okay, so you can see dissertation part A, part B. And for this program, okay, so for mixed mode program, the classes are conducted after office hour, 6 p.m. okay, on the weekdays. So similar to the civil program, okay, classes Monday to Thursday. I forgot to mention just now, for the 1 year program and also engineering management, the classes are over the weekend. Okay, so all the coursework programs in mechanical, okay, so engineering management, aviation, robotic, and manufacturing, all of those are conducted over the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, except for the mixed mode program. Okay, so the mixed mode program is conducted over weekdays after office hour, similar to civil. Okay, and the estimated cost for mixed mode will be 12,600 for local. Okay, and the last coursework program will be from the School of Electrical Engineering. Okay, so it is called Telecommunication and Information Engineering. The structure is similar to civil. Okay, so full-time minimum of 3 semesters. And the requirements are similar as well, minimum 2.75. And the fee structure is similar to civil. Okay, so more or less 2,000 per semester for 3 semesters, except that the credit hour is slightly higher. Okay, so it's having additional of 2 credit compared to 40, so 42 credit in total lah. All right, and we have come to the end. Okay, so practically just to summarize, we have gone through the programs in regards to research. Okay, so there are two ways of actually going through research program, one either from masters and one to PhD. Okay, so just to re-highlight back on the entrance to PhD. So your entrance to PhD can be through masters or can be a jump, which is the fast track. Okay, and another way, okay, so this one I forgot to highlight actually. So let's say if your intention is actually to go for a PhD. However, let's say you do not have the capacity of CGPA. So let's say your CGPA is 3.3. So you have to enroll to masters and masters to PhD. But let's say your intention is really for PhD. There is another route, which is what we call master's conversion. So master's PhD conversion. So you can enroll as a master's student first, go through your defense research proposal within the 6 months, and if your proposal is good enough and it qualifies for a PhD, you can actually apply to us to convert the master's to a PhD. Okay, so that way your masters you enroll as a masters, but dia boleh ditukarkan. So you can change it to a PhD, but you need to pass the viva. Okay, so there will be a certain viva with internal external panel, and you need to pass that. So you can actually, if that is your target for PhD and you don't have the capacity for fast track, no problem. You can enter through masters and you can convert that. Okay, so you can do that as well. Right. So and for coursework, basically we have 12 program. Okay, so 11 coursework program, one mixed mode. So basically there are a lot of varieties. It is really up to you which program you want to go about. Okay. So the difference between, I have another 12 minutes. Okay. So the nature, basically, the difference between research and also coursework. Coursework is very much structured. Okay. So coursework is where sometimes, research, it is really about your commitment, it is very much self-dependent. Okay, so you need to get the strength to actually work every day on your research. Okay, so if you have that capacity of getting up 8 o'clock in the morning, doing your research until 5, so especially for PhD. So if you do that every day consistently, then research is, and you are able to do that, then research is a good way to go. So I'm pretty sure you can complete in a short period of time. But however, coursework is where you are forced to attend the classes and you take exam like the undergraduate. You just do it like it is a daily chore. So you enter the class, study for it, complete the exam, assignment, and so on. You will get a grade, pass it, and that's it. So it is very much structured. So research is is not that structured because it is really your own planning with your supervisor. You set the scope, you work on it, but it really needs your strength, needs your commitment, discipline actually. So discipline to work on it. Coursework is very much structured. So sometimes the personality of people actually kind of influence which program they want to go for, especially from undergraduate. So either you want to choose a master's program by research or by coursework. Both way could actually lead you to a PhD if you are looking into that at the end of your uh academic life actually. Okay, right. So having said so, okay, so I have briefly gone through the type of program. If you intend to apply, okay, so for this morning session, we are having all the final semester students here. And if your CGPA is more than 2.75, I believe you would have received SMS from IPSIS on the link. Okay, so basically, if you click on the link given by IPSIS, you should be able to apply the e-pursuit. Okay, so this is without any fees. Okay, so you can just apply. However, if we are talking about students which are not final semester student, which are not our student, which are from the outside, okay, industry players, then there is a different link for the local applicants. Okay, so through this link, basically it would require you a BSN PIN number. Okay, so the BSN PIN number is uh, it requires 50 ringgit. Okay, so you need to get that, then baru you can apply. If no, for final semester student, it will be free for you. You just need to apply through the link. Okay, and if there are some of you who have actually attained a CGPA of more than 2.75, not the final CGPA, it would be based on your latest CGPA, which is last semester. Okay, so if you have attained that, but you did not get the email, or if you have tried entering this, you could not access this, please let us know. Sometimes there would be a glitch in the system. Okay, and the procedure is once you have applied for e-pursuit, we will look into the list, and normally a conditional offer will be given to you. So conditional offer, because we need to confirm on your final exam result. Okay, so once the final exam result is out, we will recheck. Okay, so we will tally back your result and the entrance requirement. If you pass through it, normally you'll be given the offer letter. Okay, so and the offer letter is also through a link. But normally, once we have you and there is certain that we will create a WhatsApp group so that it is easier for us to disseminate the information to the applicants. Okay, so and these are for international applicants. Okay, so with that, I would like to end my briefing for today. Okay, so it's 9:53. Just a simple statement which I think it is important. Okay, so I believe that everyone, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Okay, sometimes we might not have done well, but starting now that you can look into something greater that you can actually accomplish. Okay, and hopefully if you enroll, hopefully we can assist you in moving through that. Okay, and for us, importantly, is when a student enroll and the student register with us, the main thing, the most important point that we want to have, or essence, or the thing that we hold on to, is for you to graduate. So whenever a student drop out because of a certain reason, there are sometimes we get a lot of people, or basically students drop out because of financial issues, family issues, because a lot of the students are basically matured students. So at least, hopefully, if you're a fresh graduate, you do not have all the issues at this point of time, and you can concentrate, complete your study. So that is what we actually want. Okay, so if you have any inquiries, you can get back to us as well. Okay, so these are our official email, and we also have our website, our Facebook, and so on. Okay, and the recording today will also be uploaded on the YouTube as well, so that if there are anything, you can just recheck back. And I thank you everyone for your kind participation. And I think I'll just close my slide here so that I can look into the chat box. Okay, Dr. Beep, I pass it back to you, or shall I read the question and I will just answer the question?
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Sheila. All right.
Okay.
So I open the question from the students lah. Right. We have few questions, Dr. Sheila. The first one is from Gabriel. What is the difference between part-time and full-time research?
Okay, so the difference between part-time and full-time research is basically one, the DRP, the Defense Research Proposal time. Actually, for part-time and full-time, now the duration is the same. Okay, so The minimum, maximum duration for part-time and full-time is the same. The only slight difference is basically on when you are going to present for your defense research proposal. For example, if you enroll as a master student, full-time, your defense research proposal will happen within 6 months. And for part-time, your defense research proposal will happen within a year. So dia lambat sikit. So part-time, your defense research proposal tu 6 months later than the full-time. Other than that, fees for full-time is slightly a little bit expensive. Not that much, just berpuluh, because it involve medical. So part-time tak ada medical tu. So that one is the answer lah untuk yang Gabriel tu. Difference between part-time full-time research.
The other question from Gabriel also, the research methodology course for research student, is it conducted online or face-to-face?
At this moment, it is online. At this moment till this semester, it is online.
Alright. Another question from Taju Salihin.
Shakira ada Shakira.
Oh,
Shakira.
Shakira. Shakira, I would like to know the application flow for direct fast track PhD if the student has passed the requirement.
Okay, all right, Shakira. So the application is for PhD fast track. First, you need to apply through e-pursuit. Okay, so just go straight to the PhD program. If you're applying for chemical, for example, find CEEH 950. So whatever 950 will be PhD, whatever 750 will be masters. Okay, so apply 950. So we will capture from the system that you are actually undergraduate student. So we will contact you personally. I'll contact you personally to arrange for you to submit the proposal. And also, if you have the proposal ready, then that is fantastic. So have the proposal, PhD proposal, and I can further arrange for the interview, admission interview. So there will be two panels and one chair. So normally the chair will be me, and the panels will be your ketua pengajian if you're applying for chemical, your ketua pengajian, and also coordinator bidang. Okay, so there'll be 3 person looking into the proposal and your readiness to move with a PhD. So once you pass that, then you will be, I will need to click in the system that we approve it, and you will have a letter offering you as a PhD student. Okay, so that's for Shakira.
Okay. From Taju Salihin, how many intakes are there in a year or when for a master degree in structural engineering research mode?
Okay, for master's degree in structural. Okay, master's degree in structural, we only have in coursework. Nama dia, Master Science in Structural Engineering, it is only coursework, and there are 2 intakes. So March intake and also October intake. If you're looking into research mode, okay, it is called Master Science in bracket Civil Engineering. Summer. So that 2 intakes as well. All the programs are 2 intake as well as only for the 1 year program mechanical tu je. So the 3 new program of mechanical je 1 year, 1 time intake. All the other programs are 2 time intake, which is once in March and once in October. Okay.
Actually, there are a few questions on e-pursuit where they didn't receive their SMS. For this case, I think you boleh bagi nama dengan ID pada saya punya lah. Nanti saya bagi contact number. Okay, then we will check. We will check on behalf. Okay, another question from Taja Salihin. Can we have the defense research proposal earlier from 6 months or for full time? For example, maybe 3 months, etc.
Actually can. Okay, so for every semester we have defense research proposal more or less 3 times, if I'm not mistaken. So normally we have one defense at the front end, mid, and also end of the semester. Okay, so if you are able to do it in 3 months, okay, sure, no problem. It is not a fixed 6 months tu bukan. Can, boleh?
Okay. From Ahmad Khairul Wafi. Hi,
Mhm.
Doctor. Already go through the e-pursuit for civil engineering PhD. There are several campuses selection. Is it available in Penang?
Yes, it is available in Penang as well. So actually, if you look into your selection, you can choose any campuses that you are most nearest to or so on. Okay, so Penang, Permatang Pauh, if I'm not mistaken. So you can select.
From Radia. Can part-time research student doing the research grant
Okay,
apply?
Radia, I don't think so. Okay, another thing that I would like to actually reiterate back my answer to Gabriel just now, the difference between full-time and part-time. If I'm not mistaken, because research grant is under Research Management Institute, but if I'm not mistaken, for GRA, it is only for full-time student. So you have to be careful with that. So part-time, not part-time student. So if I'm not mistaken, it's only full-time student. So that is another difference between full-time and part-time as well. If you are seeking to be a GRA though. Hmm. Okay.
From Haziq, just want to ask, for students continuing their master degree studies, engineering, are there many job opportunities other than academician?
Yes, actually, if you look into or if we look into the students coming to us, they come from different walk of life actually. So banyak lah. Actually, even one course we have from different stakeholders. Sometimes we have from government, local authority. So sometimes we have from the practitioner. For example, I'm talking from civil. Okay, so we have contractor, consultant, even the developer. So quite banyak sebenarnya. So actually there are opportunities sebenarnya other than being just an academician lah. Okay.
Right. Doctor, there are a few questions from the pre-registration form. So I would like to read now.
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
from Aina Shakira. Uh, the percentage of former students that succeed on their conversion from master to PhD.
The number now does that succeed I would
Mm.
say as far as I am involved with the postgraduate, I would say 9 out of 10 succeed. So far that we have actually conducted very minimal that did not succeed on the conversion. I would say 9 succeed, 9 out of 10, 90%.
Uh, Another one is I need scholarship for my master. Oh, sorry, the question is from Aina Mardia, School of Civil Engineering. I need
Mhm.
scholarship for my master. Please suggest me on scholarship.
Okay, for master, okay, there are actually for UITM, there are no open scholarships about postgraduate, in regards to postgraduate, except for endowment. Okay, so endowment scholarship, it is usually open for the October intake, and it is highly competitive. Okay, so you can actually look into endowment scholarship. But other than that, students who come to us basically look into this MARA GREP. Betul tak, Dr. Bib? GREP, whereby it is a loan, but it is convertible to be dia bukannya scholarship, it is a loan. Tapi if you complete your studies, you
During a
can
certain duration, dia boleh
during a certain
minimumkan.
duration, you don't need to repay the loan. It is good basically if it's a 3 semester program, for example, you take a loan for 3 semester program, tapi you complete within the 3 semester, you don't need to repay the loan tu. So a lot of students actually apply yang tu GREP MARA tu. So that's another option. Besides that, masters is about GRA jugalah. Okay, so GRA you can get monthly allowance, but you have to bear the fees lah. Okay, per semester fees too. Um, that's I can think of lah. Okay, so that's what I can think of.
The last one from Kairunisa from School of Electrical. What option do we have for grant funding and how to apply grant?
Grant funding. Okay. Stay tuned for the rest of the talk today because we have potential lecturers with grant who would pitch their project. Okay, so please stay until the rest of the talk for today. So we have actually opened up the briefing to the lecturers as well for those who have grant and they can pitch for today. So just stay tuned. So you might get into some lecturers and some topics that you might be interested of. Okay, but other than that, normally we would actually advertise in our Facebook as well. So normally if there are lecturers having grant requiring student, we will post it on our Facebook. So you can check on our Facebook from time to time. So we will post it there. Okay?
Saya rasa kita boleh terima lagi satu, kita still ada masa.
Okay.
Okay, from Taji Salihin, Doktor. The last one.
Okay, let me see.
For, yeah.
Tak apa, Dr. B baca.
May I ask for an opinion here? Is it recommended to do fast track PhD instead of normal track, or is it more? Mana tadi? Is it more recommended to do master first, then convert to PhD if qualified? And if fast track PhD, is it mean we pay the fees for PhD only, or without paying the master fee, right?
Okay, kejap it's quite long. Is it recommended to do the fast track instead of normal? Or is it more recommended to do masters first, then convert to PhD if qualified? Either way, normally, if you are entitled for a fast track, normally students who are entitled, they go for fast track right away. And for me, I think if you are entitled, just go for the fast track right away. The reason is so that you affirm that you have enrolled as a PhD student. You dah terus confident. You know that, okay, I'm enrolling as a PhD student. Your mindset is already towards PhD. On the other hand, if you apply masters first, even though you're eligible for a fast track, you apply masters, then for a PhD, it just takes some time sikit because you conduct masters and then a master's proposal would differ slightly from a PhD. You have to buat like kerja dua kali. If you are entitled, if you're eligible, I would advise you to apply for the fast track terus so that you already preset in your mind that is the way your PhD tu. Okay? And the fees is PhD je, dia tak ada lah masters. So when you enroll as a PhD student, your fees will be based on PhD. Okay? Alright, so that's for Tajul.
I think that's
Okay.
all. Thank you very much, Dr. Sheila.
One more, Dr. Bib. Okay. Daripada Adib. I just joined, okay. Minimum semester for PhD 5 semesters. So when I say 5 semesters ni, which means 5 semesters until Senate. So from the registration until Senate. So expectation you can submit within 4 semesters, which is 2 years. So once you have your thesis ready, you can submit in 2 years, and then your thesis will be sent for review, viva, and then another 6 months yang belakang tu untuk until dapatkan Senate. So 5 semesters, Adib. Okay. All right, so thank you, Dr. Bib, and thank you for all the questions. Thank you also to the participants. So you may go on to the slide and the promotion kit. So just check through. If there are any questions, just come back to us. And also, Dr. Bib, you will share your contact kan? For the students to whoever who could not access e-pursuit tu.
Yes. Sure.
Okay.
Please.
All right, Dr. Bib.
Right.
I
Thank you
pass
very
back.
much.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Sheila, for the fruitful sharing. All right. Next, we will proceed to the pitching session where we invite researchers from College of Engineering who have amazing topic to be offered to the students. Okay. For the first pitching session, I would like to invite Associate Professor Dr. Wan Fazlida Hanem Abdullah from School of Electrical Engineering. Over to you, Doctor.
Thank you, Salonika. May I share just 2 slides?
Yes.
So that the students can have a few. Okay. Slide share on. Right. So, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is 5 minutes, right? So I'll try to stick to that. Okay, who we are and what we do partly, and the reason why I say partly is because I'm actually just representing myself. I am one Fazlida Hadim Abdullah. I'm from the Integrated Census Research Group. We are a group of lecturers, so we have a lab in the School of Electrical Engineering, but we are a group of a multidisciplinary staff among the College of Engineering, as well as we also have from other faculties. Okay, so what we do partly, okay, partly meaning this is just me in the research group, but if you're interested, I can also expand. What we do partly is sensor development. We develop pH and nitrate sensor modules for integrated environment. We have active funding, some recently completed, like the MOSTI International Collaboration Fund, a few MOHI grants with industry collaborators, some active. We have 2 fundamental grants and 1 prototype development grant active, and some national industry grants still under application. The reason why I listed this down is because if you join us, we have already some completed research, meaning that when you start with us on these projects, the baseline is there. Okay, and we are developing that baseline of the research based on the completed grant so that we can further improve the product. All right, so I'll go straight to the point. So the research area is sensor development. We do semiconductor sensing layer fabrication with electronic instrumentation for electrochemical sensors. It may involve several things. Not one student do everything. Okay, a student may choose 1 or 2 depending on the student's inclination and scope for the research. One part of it is material fabrication. We do solder, spin and dip coat. Okay, there is also work involving analog circuit design, schematics and PCB layout. We have a PCB printer in the lab. And we have a baseline for the circuits as well as equipment where, let's say, for example, you're not from electronics background. Let's say you're from applied science or material engineering and you go for material fabrication. So you don't do circuit design, for example, but the circuits are there. Okay, the equipments are there, and modeling of sensor behavior in chemicals. So there would be usage of equipment and data collection. So we have several sensors ready already. If you look at the pictures, the activities are up. Okay, so we just want to proceed on that. There is a monthly allowable allowance available for 2 master students. Okay, or 1 PhD, starting 2023 as soon as possible to 2025. So these 2 vacancies are definite and ready to start as soon as possible. Okay, meaning that if you join us for March, we are ready to start in March. Okay, the equipments are all there. We just need the students, the postgraduate students, to take it off. We can take more master student, but the monthly stipends is not definite. That would depend on our future grants, whether we get it or not. But for definite, for these 2 master students, it's ready to take off. Who are we looking for? We are looking for electrical and or electronics engineering. Okay, we do circuits design, we do semiconductor manufacturing technology fabrication steps. We also have our sensors connected to LoRaWAN and Wi-Fi module. Okay, so it depends on where you come in. Okay, you can take these projects. We also need chemical engineering graduates because this is a multidisciplinary project. If you are a chemical engineering student, then you will not be designing PCBs, okay, but you will be handling more on the chemical analysis, as well as applied science graduates. We have many applied science graduates who have joined us. The projects are there, the equipments are there, the chemicals are there. So it's just, it's not a matter of waiting for the grant, but the grants are already there. And it's a matter of the commitment of the master student, which we will work together as a team. So I think that's it. Contact me if you're interested. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Wang. Okay. So I hope the student will grab this opportunity, inshallah. All right, for the next speaker is Dr. Rahimi Baharum from the School of Electrical Engineering. Over to you, Doctor.
Assalamualaikum, Dr. Bib.
Assalamualaikum.
Okay, alright. Thank you very much, Dr. Habibah. Okay, the chairperson. All right, Assalamualaikum and good morning to everyone. Okay, my name is Rahimi Baharum from School of Electrical Engineering, College of Engineering, UiTM. Okay, so first of all, I would like to apologize since we did not prepare any materials or slide, okay, to present to all of you. Okay, so anyhow, let straight to the point. Okay, so currently I'm looking for postgraduate students, okay, either master or PhD. All right. Um, so very urgent, okay. So if you are interested, then you can come and see me, okay, at Electrical Drive Technology, okay, laboratory, okay, level 6, okay, block 4, okay, School of Electrical Engineering, okay. Previously, I have 3 postgraduate students, okay, and 2 of them already graduated, okay, where one of them got APC, okay, or Anugerah Pendidikan Cemerlang, okay. So to another one will have his viva tomorrow, okay. So total three of my student I think finished their or completed their studies lah. Okay, so that's why currently I'm looking for a new batch of students. Okay, either in master or PhD, right? So I would like to welcome any candidate from electrical engineering, okay, to join us, okay, at a Powertronic Research Group, UiTM, okay. And we have a few times, okay, a few minutes. So I would like to open any question from candidate. If you have any question, you can ask me now. We can allow student to turn or candidate to turn on microphone, Dr. Biba?
Yes, sure, sure.
Okay, so if you have any question, then you can turn on your microphone and ask me your question.
Dr. Habibah, kalau saya ada soalan pun saya ada je.
Okay.
Alright.
So we prefer two-way communication. If you have any question to ask, then you are most welcome.
Any question, student?
So maybe regular question from candidate. So they will be paid allowance or not? Yes. Okay. For master level, okay, we will pay allowance at least 2,000 ringgit per month. Okay. All right. So any question? If you have no question, then later if you have any question, then you can come and see me. Okay. I think that's all, Dr. Biba. Thank you.
Maybe Dr. Rahimi can place your contact number.
Okay,
chat
so I will share in the chat box. Okay,
Yeah, thank
my
you.
name and my contact number. All right.
Thank you, Dr. Rahimi. Okay.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Right. The next one will be. I would like to invite Associate Professor TS Dr. Wan Muhammad from School of Mechanical Engineering.
Hello, hi. Sorry, I was still typing. Okay, Assalamualaikum and very good morning. I'm Wan Mazlina from Mechanical Engineering, but currently I am there's someone. It's supposed to be someone else, is it?
Dr. Fahmi still not.
Okay. I thought someone in the chat. I'm actually attached with Mitran. But we have what do you call? We have a project already that is existing, and we hope that this project will also we are looking for student also for this current existing project, and hope if you get this Petronas grant, we are looking also for RA or also GRA. Okay, our title is feasibility analysis of hydrogen fueling station. The reason actually the first pitching we did was proposed in Kuching, because the reason is that we have hydrogen in Kuching. Kuching is expected to export the hydrogen, and they are going to use hydrogen for their vehicle in future. And what we are doing for Petronas, what we propose to Petronas, that we are looking into where are the feasible station that they should develop or build. But after the pitching with Petronas, they decided that they wanted us to do instead of in Sarawak, because Sarawak already has existing hydrogen fueling station by Petros. They are asking us to look into the feasibility of having a hydrogen fueling station in in Semenanjung. And then, like I said, these are the because we are different. We don't really go straight into the technical, but we are looking into the other operation perspective, and also the what you call the feasibility perspective. So we are hoping that we have to have a student that are able to, because we, before we do anything, like I said, for even for any good engineering product, you have to do survey. So these are what we are looking for, students who have the capability able to do survey, and then then to find people what is their perception about hydrogen vehicle. And because you and then this is the current one that we do, and this is what Sarawak is planning to do. This is the one we have already tested in Johor Bahru. This is electric vehicle, and we are getting the approval from the authorities such as Ministry of Transport and GPJ. And Sarawak, this is, if you can see, this is electric. We already also have sponsor a few students when we have this project in Johor to look into the traffic management and so on. And then this is what Sarawak wanted. They want to convert this into hydrogen, and currently the hydrogen conversion is being done in China, and they will, once it's ready, we will be bringing back to Kuching. And then this is one of the projects. So we are looking also for student to RA to help us in doing this POC in Kuching. Funding will be from our own consultancy grant. But for, if we get for hydrogen Kuching or hydrogen Petronas, that will be a different funding. Okay, thank you.
Right, thank you very much, Dr. Wan Mazlina. All right. Next, we proceed with another pitch session with Associate Professor T.S. Dr. Mahanijah Muhammad Kamal from School of Electrical Engineering. Over to you, Doctor.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Babe. Wait. Okay, let me share my slide. Can you see my slide?
Not yet. Sekejap mungkin loading. Alright, now okay.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to everyone. So basically, I am Mahanijah Mak Kamal from School of Electrical Engineering, UiTM Shah Alam. And as you can see here, this is some of my research area on the left-hand side. Okay, so in fault diagnosis, system modeling, control system, and also a part of engineering education. And this is just to share with everyone information about my publication. Okay, so basically this is the index of my publication. So now I go straight to my research title. Basically, there are two topics that I would like to have postgraduate students, okay, either in master level or PhD level. So the first one is about the fault diagnosis, or we can divide it into fault detection and isolation. Okay, the title would be fault detection and isolation of PEM electrolyzer system for green hydrogen production using artificial intelligence. So for your information, so basically the main three component or cluster of hydrogen, we can categorize it into gray, green, and also blue category. When we're talking about green, hydrogen production is about where the the hydrogen and also the oxygen being produced using the electrolyzer. Okay, so this is the part of the problem statement which relate to the title. So basically, there are lacking of methods related to the PAM in terms of behavior analysis and also diagnosis. When we're talking about diagnosis, how you can detect and isolate the faults, especially in the system. The second one is about the model of the PAM itself and also the characteristic of PAM, which is a non-linear behavior. Okay, so that's why here we try to propose an intelligent fault detection and isolation modeling for the PAM electrolyzer. Okay, and hopefully by having that, the output would be a PAM electrolyzer with a new method of FDI. Okay, and for your information, the location of our research will be based at Alternative Energy Research Center, which is in School of Mechanical Engineering, UiTM Shah Alam. Okay, and as you can see here, this is a little bit information about the why we would like to apply the FDI for the PAM electrolyzer. Okay, so basically it concerns with the safety of the hydrogen itself. Okay, so you can refer to this statement. And just to have some idea about the system, so this is the overall diagram of system integration of PAM electrolyzer, which was taken from Prof. Madya Dr. Hassan journal. Okay, and basically when you're talking about faults, okay, we can categorize it into different types of faults. And basically for your information, the faults can be from the component faults, which is here, okay, between the manifold from the hydrogen storage into the stack. Okay, so we have the manifold. It can be leakage in terms of the communicating the hydrogen to the stack, and it also can be comes from the sensors fault, which is from current, pressure, or temperature. So basically, the purpose of having this research, okay, is to predict and analyze the fault detection and isolation in order for us to prevent the fault before it happens. Okay, so that will be the first title of the proposed research. Okay, and the second one is on the modeling of deep learning and EKF, extended Kalman filter algorithm for BMS, battery management system of lithium battery based on electric vehicle battery packs. So sorry, typo error for the electric. So basically for this second topic, we have the grant under FRGS with the duration of 3 years. And basically, urgently, I need a PhD student, okay? And you can start anytime. Okay, so this is the problem statement. Okay, the solution, the output, and the location will be in Item Research Center, School of Electrical Engineering, Block 4, Level 4. So, and this is the basic diagram of the BMS when talking about battery management system of electric vehicle, where what you're gonna study or do the prediction of the modeling is based on the SOC, state of charge, SOH, state of health, and also the thermal management. Okay, so basically what we're gonna study and also try to solve the problem, okay, is based on these three conditions, okay, where the input to this one will be the battery pack here, okay, which also relate with the current, temperature, and also voltage. Okay, and for your information, this is the requirement for my potential PhD students. Okay, and if you are interested enough, you can contact me, Mahanija, okay, Mak Kamal. So this is my email number and this is my phone number. Okay, thank you for your time. Okay, thank you, Dr. B. Okay, back to you, Dr. B. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mahanija. Right, we proceed with the last point. Okay, I would like to invite Associate Professor Dr. Al-Hassan Salimi Tajani from the School of Mechanical Engineering. Dr. Hassan.
Okay, Assalamu alaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullah.
Thank you very much. Let me share my slide. Can you see my slide, please? My
Yes.
slide showing?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And good morning to everyone on this platform. I'm here to share some of my research areas and then looking for potential postgraduate students to work with. Okay, so that's my contact. My name is Al Hassan Salami Tijani, and my email address and the telephone number is given from School of Mechanical Engineering. Okay, so that's my details. Now, the first topic I would like to highlight on the optimization of.
Sorry to interrupt, Dr. Al Hassan. Maybe you
Yes.
can, okay, do it in slideshow. Okay, no, alhamdulillah. Okay.
Yes, so the first topic that I would like to invite any potential postgraduate student to work on is optimization of power allocation, okay, for solar hydrogen technology. Okay, so this research will be in collaboration with SRI, that is the Solar Research Institute, that is in Gamba. Okay, so basically we are looking into installing electrolyzer system over there. Okay, so the main problem with the green energy tech, when I say green energy technology, I mean installing an electrolyzer to produce hydrogen, and then the source of the energy is coming directly from the solar. Okay, then the problem of integrating these two units is degradation of voltage. When you connect the electrolyzer with the solar power. Okay, so the on and off or switching up and down of the power system really disturbs the operation characteristics of the electrolyzer. Okay, so the student would like to investigate or have to investigate how to maintain or increase the efficiency of an electrolyzer based on voltage degradation. Okay, so we're going to look into these are the electrolyzer system that I'm talking about. Let me yes. So we have 4 electrolyzer systems over here, which are arranged in parallel connection. Okay, and their source of energy is coming from the solar energy plant. Okay, so the students need to look into the mechanisms of the voltage degradation. Okay, so first we'd like to go into simulation. I would like to emphasize over here, the student maybe have to have experience or knowledge, background in MATLAB, Simulink. Okay, so we have to simulate a single cell and then look at the dynamics of the voltage degradation, and then integrating, let's say, multiple stack. Okay, also the student will do a further investigation on that. Okay, so the main novelty of this particular project is to be able to store the hydrogen for further applications such as transportation. It could be also be used for the oil industry or agriculture for fertilizer or ammonium production. And then also look at the parallel arrangement of the electrolyzer. Okay, how the sensitivity of this parallel arrangement, how it affects the overall performance of the system. And then also, one of the areas that the student also need to take into consideration is the pressure. Okay, so the compressibility, the pressure of the electrolyzer. So normally, the pressure range for a PM electrolyzer is between 1 bar up to 30 bar. Okay, so we need to have a knowledge of the let's say, optimum operating pressure that will reduce the cost for compression. Okay, so that's basically the area for this particular one. And then also, I would like to have a student also who can look about the techno-economic of green hydrogen for railway application. Okay, so here the student will not look into the technical details, but the main advantages and disadvantages of and applying a green energy technology or green hydrogen technology for railway application. Okay, so I've seen some of the highlight given by Dr. Wan in previous slide. So in Germany now, they are moving very, very far ahead in terms of the global green energy system. Okay, so and even up to them also, up to now, they have also not come out with a practical green hydrogen for railway application. So most worldwide, what do you call it, knowledge now is limited based on it's only based on simulation and then some basic calculations here and there. Okay, so here the student will need to look into the techno-economic. Okay, the feasibility study has to be done. How this and techno-economic is going to benefit, let's say, its application in Malaysia, for example. Okay, and then the second, the third one is the modeling effect of bubble evolution on efficiency and specific energy consumption of PM electrolyzer. So normally in PM electrolyzer, and there are certain problems with bubble formation around the electrodes. So when the bubbles formed around the electrodes, it increases the resistance of the electrode surface, thereby, avoiding, let's say, direct contact with the working fluid with the electrode. So this try to increase, when the resistance increases, then it will decrease the efficiency of the electrolyzer. So the student will have to look into the bubble dynamics. Okay, what are the parameters that influence the bubble dynamics? How to reduce, or how does the bubble growth take place around the electrodes and their departure from the electrode surface. Okay, so the students need to look into this. Okay, so this is the general mechanisms of the operation of the electrolyzer system. Okay, so as you can see, we have the anode side and then the cathode side. Okay, so at the anode side, normally water is dissociated into hydrogen and oxygen. Okay, so the oxygen finds its way to the cathode side. That's the hydrogen find its way to the cathode side, whereas the oxygen, which is produced at the anode side, is again released into the atmosphere. But the challenge over here is that at a very, very, very high pressure of, say, let's say 30 bar or 20 bar, there is a possibility of some of the hydrogen which is produced at the cathode side to move towards the anode. And this gives a basic, or let's say, safety concern for the operation of the electrolyzer. So when the concentration of the hydrogen in the oxygen electrode is very, very high, so this can result in explosion. So the student has to look into the way to minimize the influx of this hydrogen towards the anode side. Okay, so these are the governing equations which the students need to study. So it's very easy. So I've published some literatures related to this. So this the student needs to have some basic understanding of this, which equations which can be coded in MATLAB later on. And the last presentation is on fluid flow and convection heat transfer characteristics. Okay, for heat sink, okay, for electrical power stack cooling. So nowadays, you all know that gradually people are now moving from 4G, okay, tower to 5G. So now the 5G tower or the 5G application in the electronic industry has a great, that's a large problem related to thermal energy dissipation. Okay, so the current flowing inside the electronic circuit produce a large amount of heat that need to be dissipated to the surrounding. Okay, so here we want to design a novel heat sink that is capable of minimizing or dissipating large amount of heat from the transmission station or the power stack, okay, to the surrounding. Okay, so these are some of the electronics also that we have already done in our study. Passive, we have passive heat sinks, and then the active heat sink. So the active heat sink, normally we use a blower, such as a fan, for cooling. And then for the passive one, the cooling is done through natural convection. Okay, so the students need to design a heat sink that is capable of reducing or dissipating heat from the heat sink to the surrounding. Okay, so but the basic objective is to analyze the heat transfer characteristics of multiple heat sinks by forced convection heat transfer. I think that's the end of my presentation. And anybody who is interested, be it a master or postgraduate PhD student, can contact me. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Hassan. Any question from the class to the speaker? Ada soalan daripada semua pelajar?
Yes, for your information, currently we are aggressively looking for a research fund for these particular topics. Okay, so I do not have any research grant at the moment. So that's the information I need to give you.
Right, thank you.
So is this question for me? What is the future of this research, especially for students who like to join you? Sharu Fitri Bins. I think this question is for me, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
The Ashara, is it? Yeah, yes, Doctor.
Okay,
Yes,
okay. Yes, so you see now hydrogen technology is now being embraced by the global community. Okay, so even in Europe, in America, they are pumping a lot of money now into research for green hydrogen technology. So I can see a very bright future for the hydrogen economy. Okay, so there are a lot of opportunities out there. Even though the infrastructure is very limited currently. So, but I think that in future, there will be a lot of job opportunities related to hydrogen storage, hydrogen transport, either in the liquid state or in the gaseous state, hydrogen fuel cell vehicles, even electric vehicles also have the potential to use hydrogen. Okay, so now the only disadvantage about this research is that the hydrogen production is a bit expensive. But as more research is aggressively being kicked off now, so it has a very bright future. The whole of Europe and America, even China, Japan, they are all embracing this technology now. So if any student wants to take this challenge, I think he or she is not going to regret for the rest of her life, because there will be a lot of opportunity related to this field. In fact, there are a lot of branches. You can go, and this research can be applicable to the steel industry. In the steel industry, currently they are using coal or natural gas for refining the ore. But now in US and let's say countries like Germany, they are shifting from this conventional the conventional steel mining, okay, that is producing steel using either the coal or natural gas, into using now applying green hydrogen technology. And when you use hydrogen to produce or to produce the ore of the iron, there is no emission of carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. You understand me? So that is for the steel industry. And then if you go to, let's say, the refining industry also, or let's say in agriculture, okay, so hydrogen can be produced, okay, from ammonia can be produced from hydrogen. Okay, that can be used as fertilizer for agriculture. Okay, and I think many more opportunities are there for any students who wants to go in, also in teaching, in research. Also, there are a lot of opportunities. Now in Germany, they are offering a lot of opportunities for students to go into this field. You understand me? So the bright is it's a the future is very good for this particular area of green hydrogen technology. Okay, so we all know that in previous years, solar energy started gradually, and now the whole world has, there's a breakthrough in the research related to solar energy. Now the more research is now focusing on green hydrogen technology. You understand me? So that is the information I need to give you.
Right, thank you. Any other question from the floors? You also may ask question from the other speaker. They are still here. No question. So thank you, Dr. Hassan.
Okay, thank you very much, Tashila. I'll stop sharing now.
So before we end the session, I would like to ask everyone to turn on your camera for us to take the picture. Jadi, ada lagi nak buka kamera? Alright, ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more. Time's up. 1, 2, 3. All right. So I would like to invite Dr. Sheila, our Head of Postgraduate Studies, to give her final remarks.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Habibah, and thank you to all the lecturers, potential supervisor who have actually pitched their research, which are really interesting. Okay. Interesting too. Additionally, with the grant. Okay, so we hope that the students could take this opportunity. Okay, so the opportunities are there. I've basically talked about the programs as well as the pitching session with grants, as well as there are opportunity with fees which are really low. Okay, so there are it's just that you just need to grab it. Okay, so get back to us if you have any questions, or if you need certain reference to a certain supervisor. We'll try our best to guide you towards there. Okay, so the main thing for us is if you intend to actually go into postgraduate, so practically this is a lifelong learning skill, so get into it and we'll assist you all the way until you have completed your study. Okay, so with that, thank you very much for your participation. Thank you, Dr. Habibah, and also the postgrad team who have actually arranged this session, and it has been very fruitful. Okay, so thank you again for everyone, and have a good day.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
all
organizers.
Thank
speakers.
you.
Sheila. Thank you,
Goodbye.
Dr. Habibah, for the
Sheila.
excellent arrangement.
Thank you, Dr. Bib.
Thank you, Dr. Sheila.